been a little while since I've done a video, so we need to get back onto it. I need to get back onto it. This is going to be lesson number 15, the first half of lesson number 15 out of the College of Piping Green Book. The new embellishment is the Birl. There is also the tune sounding out Farewell to Gibraltar, which will be the second half of this lesson and will be a separate video. A word about learning the embellishments and the tunes. Most people are going to want to go over this Birl a little bit, and when they can play a couple of them, then they're going to launch into the tune. If you do that, you're going to be trying to learn the tune and the embellishment at the same time, and you're going to effectively learn neither very well. Treat this like it's two different lessons. Treat lesson 1 being the Birl. When you have the Birl down, then consider looking at the tune. If you attempt 10 Birls and 2 of those sound acceptable, you're not ready for the tune yet. You need to be able to do 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20, acceptably, not perfect, not great, but at least acceptably, before you attempt to use it in the tune. Otherwise, you're going to have a substandard Birl. You're going to learn the first part of the tune, and from this point forward, no matter how good you get, you will likely always have a poor Birl in that tune. And this goes for any of the embellishments as we get into the more complicated ones. Make sure you have the embellishment down well before you try to use it in a tune. Unfortunately, for some reason, in one of my favorite exercise books, the Piper's Helper from John Recknagel, there's not an exercise for the Birl. So you're going to have to either find it in another exercise book, make one, have your instructor give you something of that nature. Anyway, here's the Birl. First part of learning it, it begins on low A, and you cover and uncover the low G hole twice, cleanly, and in a good rhythm. At this stage, the Birl from a low A is going to sound like a double aim. Bum, 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 bum. The 2 G's are going to be the same length, and it sounds just like all the other doublings you've done up to this point. Da dun, da dun, da dun. Doesn't matter what the doubling is, the rhythm is the same. Da dun, da dun. Okay? How you cover and uncover that hole is going to depend on you, on the dexterity of your fingers, and how much practice you put in. The fastest and easiest way to learn to do it is a double tap. You just tap, 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 tap. It's very easy to learn. One thing it has going for it is the fact that since you're coming straight down on the hole and straight up, you tend not to get any of that muddiness or this sliding noise, where you kind of, it's not real clean. Coming straight down and straight up tends to be very clean. The bad side about it is you're not going to be able to go very fast. You can only double tap so fast, especially if you have several Birls in rapid succession or coming from other complicated embellishments. You're liable to have fast, clean embellishments. Then you get to the Birl, and because you're double tapping, it's like it just almost hits the brakes. Bum, bum. Everything else is going, and then all of a sudden, bum, bum, bum. So, but it is an option. There are people who use that. Next one is, and I think one of the more common, at least in this area, is what's called the double 7, or just a 7, figure 7. If you think about the 7 going across and down, across and down, that's how you write a 7, across and down. That is what your pinky does. You start above the hole, you go across, top of the 7, and then kind of curl your finger, and as you curl it, you go back across the hole again. So it's uncovered, cover, uncover, cover, uncover. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. I've seen people reverse that, where they go from below it, above it, and below it, bum, 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 bum. Or push-pull, where you start with your finger curled, you push it, and you pull it. Whatever method works with your fingers and your hands and will give you the most consistent and clean burl. And you just got to do them and do them and do them and do them. Those now, at this point we said it sounded like a doubling. Now we're going to add something to where now it sounds almost like one of those strikes. So we got the bum 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 of the low G covering and uncover. Now we're going to, the burl is going to be coming from another note. Let's say from the E. So if we're on the E, we're going to put down one finger, puts us on the low A, and then we're going to do the double G. We're going, that A, when we put this down, is going to be about the same length as the two low G's. So instead of bum bum, it's going to be bum bum bum, bum bum bum, bum bum bum, kind of a triplet. Most of what you're going to be doing is going to involve going from a note on the high hand down to the burl. It is perfectly acceptable, and a lot of tunes I actually played, you may be from the low hand to the burl. If you don't practice that when you run into it, you're going to have a problem. So don't forget to practice from the low hand. You'll have to find or make up some embellishments on that. To get the dexterity, whenever you think about it, put your hand on the table and just try to move that pinky without moving the ring finger. Work on flexibility, range of motion. You can use a pencil, do burls on a pencil, on the steering wheel. Also, make sure that your low hand, that the thumb is between the two fingers or across in the second, somewhere in this area. Don't let it get too high. If it gets too high, you're not going to be able to find that hole with the pinky because the distance is too far. So really work on keeping that thumb between the fingers or across in the second finger. Put a wire tie wrap here, whatever you have to make sure that thumb doesn't start creeping up too much to the top. That'll make sure that you can find that low G hole. Okay? Get cracking on that. Give it a week or two. When you can do 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20, then come back and hopefully before too long I'll have the first half of the 79th Farewell to Gibraltar.